Undertale is, without a doubt, an incredible game that touched many people. Although it's not my favorite, I recognize its exceptional soundtrack and its impact. However, I don't believe that the game I created, is a copy of Undertale as some people have claimed. My game wasn't inspired by Undertale, it has clear influences from IB, Hello Charlotte, and Doki Doki Literature Club. Yes, the opening scene may resemble Undertale, but that was a coincidence, not a reference. The rose present on the map, for example, is inspired by IB, as are some of the settings. Hello Charlotte's influence appears in the mysteries that surround the plot and in the idea that the main characters are like dolls or clones, just like Charlotte in that game. Doki Doki Literature Club was an inspiration due to the breaking of the fourth wall, something that also occurs in the game. While Doki Doki Literature Club starts as a cute romance visual novel and reveals itself to be creepy and bizarre, my game follows the opposite logic. It begins with a dark and eerie atmosphere, but as you progress, you realize it conveys a positive message. I graduated in psychology, and at the time I created the game, I was a student during the COVID-19 pandemic with a strong interest in emotion psychology. We all have psychological processes like memory, learning, perception, and of course emotions. Psychology teaches that emotions shouldn't be repressed or ignored, not even the so-called negative ones like anxiety, sadness, or anger. In the game, the monsters represent these repressed emotions, which eventually transform into creatures. However, the way to deal with them is not through violence. Instead, you use the Perception Enhancer, a powder of light that you throw at the monsters, and you can also hug them and try to talk to understand those emotions. Moreover, the game also reflects on happiness, especially the social pressure to be happy all the time. In the game, some characters and situations will try to make you stay and be constantly happy, as if other emotions weren't acceptable. This serves as a critique of the idea that we must ignore or hide feelings like sadness, anger, and fear, when in reality, all these emotions are part of a healthy emotional life. Unlike Undertale, where monsters are conscious beings and you can choose to fight or not, in the game, you cannot harm repressed emotions. They aren't living beings, just personifications of emotions. I assure you that at no point was I inspired by Undertale when creating my game, but being compared to such a renowned title is, in a way, flattering. I created the game during a very difficult time in my life, and it was my first project. One of the characters, Julie, is a dog girl inspired by my dog Julie, who passed away during the pandemic. Unfortunately, I couldn't see her as we were all in isolation. Lorena, on the other hand, is inspired by a college friend who also passed away from COVID. The pandemic was an extremely challenging period for me, as I believe it was for many people. Although the game didn't turn out perfectly or as I would have liked, I worked hard and appreciated the various constructive criticisms. However, the comparison with Undertale doesn't make much sense to me. Undertale's premise revolves around Frisk trying to escape from a conflict between monsters. In the game, you wake up in a mysterious place and an enigmatic man guides you to choose a path. As you progress and reach different endings, the game changes. The focus of the game is to explore emotions, perception, grief, and teach how to deal with challenges to avoid people repressing their emotions, which can lead them to feel bad or even develop psychological problems. So if you want to check out my game, it's available on Steam. Additionally, there's a complete gameplay with all the endings here on YouTube. The links will be in the video description.